Hello, hello, hello. My name's Adrian Cockings and welcome to the coronavirus update video number 59. Today's date is the 12th, Friday, the 12th of June, 2020. Welcome to everyone who's been a long time listener. I know a lot of you here have been from day one and you've been adamant listeners coming back every single video, every single day. So thank you very much for coming back. And for all you new time listeners and new time watchers, basically what this show is all about, it's all to do with the coronavirus here in Spain, the situation, of course, with the state of emergency. I update you with anything that has been happening over the last 5 days, and we do a live show every Monday and every Friday at 4 p.m. So put that into your calendars, set an alarm every Monday and Friday on your phone that 4 o'clock I will be live on Facebook. And a lot of people are asking about notifications. All you have to do is click the bell button, or you go into notifications on the page and click see first, and you'll get a notification on your Facebook page every time I go live, which is most likely every Monday and every Friday at 4 p.m. Also, a lot of people's Alexa and Google has been setting reminders as well, so great job with that, guys. Alright, so there has been a lot of news coming out over this week, especially. There's been some change, of course, with the new normality. That was put out on Tuesday. We'll get into that a little bit further. And of course, a lot of people have been asking about what's going to be happening on Monday the 15th of June. There's been a lot of speculation from the UK media especially, and a lot of speculation from the Spanish media about what is going to be happening, if the borders are going to be lifted, etc. So we're going to talk about all of that today. But first thing, what I want you guys to do right now, first of all, click the like button. Thank you for all the thumbs up, for the hearts. I really, really appreciate all the love that you guys are sharing. And click the share button as well, because this information, of course, it is crucial for a lot of people, and we've noticed over the last 2 weeks especially, we've been getting about 30% increase in our live viewers from new viewers. So you guys are the ones sharing out all this information to new viewers who have never heard of this page before. So share this out to as many people as possible, into pages that you're a part of, or groups that you're a part of. Share it out and let's get the real information out there as much as possible, okay? Alright, so let's start off with the biggest news that is coming out, which is June 15th. Now, this is, of course, going to be for the majority of Spain coming into phase 3, especially the Valencian community, including Alicante, Orihuela. These guys, or you guys, are all going to be coming into phase 3 as of Monday, the 15th of June. Now, most of Spain will also be going into phase 3. I believe it's only Madrid and some areas around Madrid and Barcelona, the main city of Barcelona and Catalonia. They will not be going into phase 3 as of yet. They will still be staying in phase 2, most likely for another week. But yeah, that's basically the news of who is going to be going in. I'm going to be sharing a map of all the regions and all the provinces that are going to be going into phase 3 as of next week. Now, the big news as well is some regions, especially Galicia, they're actually going to be coming out of lockdown completely as of 15th of June, next Monday. So, of course, I wanted to do some research on this to make sure this is all true. So if we do have anyone watching in Galicia, this is in the northwest of Spain, just above Portugal. That province is actually coming out of lockdown on the 15th of June. Now, why was this put into place, and how could this, of course, happen? Well, it actually turns out that in phase 3, and any region or any province that is in phase 3, it's now going to be to the regional authorities to decide when they're going to be coming out of the phase 3 and when they're going to be coming out of lockdown. So, of course, in Galicia, the regional authorities in Galicia, they have been in phase 3, and they've stated that they're more than capable to accommodate any second waves that may happen, and they're coming out of phase 3 and coming out of lockdown officially. So, what does this mean? Well, to be honest, not much, because until we actually get most of Spain out of lockdown as well, cross-province or border province crossing will not actually take place, so not much is really going to be changing there. I do know that, of course, they're going to be welcoming flights as well into Galicia, but we'll get onto that as well with flights and aeroplanes and everything in a bit, okay? So yes, it's now going to be down to the regional authorities, so for example the presidents of each region or each province, to now decide what is actually going to be happening in phase 3 and what rules as well are going to be happening in phase 3. So as of last week, Murcia, was it last week? Monday? Oh God, everything's just mixing in. It was last week. Murthy actually went into phase 3, and of course there were some rules that were coming out for phase 3 and what you can and can't do. If you're not sure on what you can and can't do in phase 3, go back to those videos and rewatch them, because I did do a nice deep dive into all the rules, that what you can do and what you can't do. Not much has changed. The main thing is you're allowed now to go to 20 people meeting up in groups, and supermarkets and shops, they're going to be opening up in a larger capacity. That's basically it. You know, it's a de-escalation, so they're just expanding the spaces of where you can go now. But yeah, in phase 3, it's now most likely going to be down to the regional authorities of what can and can't be done. So for example, bars and restaurants, they can open up, and you can now sit up at a bar as well. But discos and nightclubs are also allowed to open up in phase 3. However, the Murcia region president has actually stated no, he is not going to be allowing discos to open up. Now, there are some areas and some regions that are still allowing this. But of course, the Murcia region actually said no, they're not going to be allowing discos to open up, most likely until the end of the lockdown, which I thought was kind of crazy, because, you know, all you would have to do is just put in tables and no dancing. But that was actually put out in the royal decree as well, or by the authorities, that if discos were to open up, no dance floors will be allowed to open up. And I saw a lot of people cross-referencing this to a film as well, so I thought it was very, very clever of you guys to remember that. So yes, very, very good there. The regional authorities now, they're going to be basically saying what rules are going to be put into place and what rules are not going to be put into place. So what you have to do is basically follow the local authorities and local pages that correspond to you. I follow the Ayuntamiento de Murcia, and I follow their pages, and I put the notification on, so I see everything coming up first. All right, let's move on. The Balearic Islands. They're also going to be coming out of lockdown, and they're actually going to be doing the test for Spain to allow tourism back into Spain. So what is going to be happening from the 15th of June, they're actually now going to be allowing flights to come into the islands. And this is going to be a test, of course, for the Balearic Islands of the tourism coming back in. But there's not going to be every single country in Europe allowed to come in. What we do know so far, there are only certain countries that are going to be able to fly into these islands. There will be some testing in the airports and everything as well, but there's still not a lot of information exactly if they're still going to be still going to have to do the 14-day quarantine, which is currently in place in Spain, or not. So we're still waiting for information about that at the moment, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see with that. Right, we'll move on to ferries, and not ferries as in flying around ferries, as in the ferries, ferries, I don't know how to pronounce it for everyone to understand. Boats, boats that can carry people from one place to another, ferries. We talked about this last week, and of course on the websites and the Brittany ferries especially, it's stated that the 15th of June will be when they start commencing. However, they put out a notice on Tuesday, I believe it was, and they are now suspending all crafts, all boats, until the 29th of June. This was most likely put into place because, of course, the Spanish authorities and the Spanish government are not actually coinciding with the European Union's 15th of June opening up the borders. You know, Spain still wants to have the borders closed until the end of June, most likely on the 1st of July. We're still yet to get any confirmation about when this is going to be happening, but this is what all authorities are saying at the moment. And I saw a lot of people liking the ferries there. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. We've got a lot of news to cover up on. Okay, the UK. I know I normally don't talk a lot about the UK in these videos. Of course, this is coronavirus in Spain, not the UK. However, this could be news for tourism. This could be news for anyone who is resident, or maybe a person who has to go back to the UK as soon as the lockdown is lifted. Now, this week, this was put into place that a UK 14-day self-quarantine has been put into place. So anyone who has to fly back to the UK for emergencies, for any sort of reason, and if you are able to catch an emergency flight especially, you now have to go into self-quarantine for 14 days or risk being fined. And this is actually put up until at least the 28th of June. This is what all the papers are saying as well. So if you do have to go back to the UK, you still have to self-quarantine for 14 days. But there is some more news coming out from this, that airlines, more specifically airlines based in the UK, they aren't exactly happy about this, and they have actually taken legal action against the UK government. And they're stating, of course, they want the airlines to be able to open up for holiday and for tourism especially. And if a 14-day quarantine is put into place until the 28th of June, then yeah, this is not going to be very, very good for tourism, for the tourism industry. So yeah, the UK airlines are now taking the UK government to court. Well, legal action, that's all we'll say at the moment, but we'll see what actually comes out from there. And also, still talking about the UK, I'm very sorry, but I know a lot of people are watching this in the UK as well. The UK says it will start travelling between countries from the 28th of June, or 29th, I presume, after that. However, Spain was not mentioned in any of the countries or any of the articles that I actually read. So this was a headline that actually caught my eye, that UK will now start travelling into other countries of Europe. But Spain was not mentioned in any of these articles. Germany, Italy, France and Portugal were mentioned, but Spain wasn't. Now this is down to most likely because Spain are still not going to be opening up their borders until at least July the 1st. Again, nothing has been officially announced yet, but this is where their planning is to go from the 1st of July. So I think the UK government are wishing that the UK will actually open up their borders sooner, but until this is announced, no, this is not going to be happening at all. Right, let's move on to schools. Okay, this was a big announcement during this week as well. Of course, with the educational system in Spain, and I'm talking about public schools, not necessarily private schools, because of course that comes under a different sector when you're in a public school to a private school. For example, a lot of people watching this, they may have kids in an international private school, and these rules are actually different to the public schools, okay? So try to make sure you're up to date with any of the school administrative team, and make sure you're updated with those if you're a teacher or anything like this. But public schools in Spain, they will be commencing in September, and as of today, the new protocols that are going to be put into place for September is a maximum of 20 students per class and 1.5 meters distance between the students' desks. Masks are going to be mandatory for anyone who is over than 10 years old in school. And playtime or recess is going to actually be done in turn, so they're not actually going to be mingling classes between or amongst each other. So this is actually quite interesting, because I know a lot of people who are watching this, they do have children that go to the public schools here in Spain. This is, of course, the protocols that have been put into place at the moment. When this is, of course, with the numbers and infections still keeping on a low and still keeping, you know, maybe they're expecting a second wave, and this is why they're hoping to keep these rules put into place so it kind of helps the system in a way. But this could all change. Now, this has only been put out in June. We've still got another 2 months to go, 2.5 months almost, till we get to September. And until then, we really don't know what is actually going to happen with the school system. But this has been put into place so far. So if this is the case, and if you do have kids in the Spanish school system, this is most likely going to be the new protocol. Now, yes, the government do know that this is not going to be sufficient. You know, they're not going to have enough classrooms for the students that need to go into the class, because the average class size here is about 30 students, maybe 32, 33. So yeah, there are going to be some other ways that they're going to have to try and manage. Now, the government have also speculated that they're going to continue with online classes, and this will most likely be a voluntary basis where children can actually stay at home and do online classes as if they were to go to class like normal. But yeah, this was kind of a big step, I think. You know, starting to take protocols now for September. This is the huge step that the government, the Spanish government especially, are trying to take and put into place already. All right. And the last thing, wow, we've gone through this really, really quick. The The last thing is, of course, the new normality. Now, this is, of course, the phrase that everyone is talking about at the moment. The Spanish government are talking about the new normality and what is going to be happening after the 21st of June. So, as you know, the state of emergency, the royal decree has stated that it is now the last extension of the lockdown, of the state of emergency, and it is, of course, finishing on the 21st of June. Now, when you say 21st of June, oh yeah, public schools, state schools, yeah. When we say the 21st of June, a lot of people are getting, well, they've asked me, well, is it going to be midnight on the 21st of June or midnight on the 20th of June? I'm still yet to confirm on this. I'm actually a bit confused on this, but of course, when I know, I'll let you guys know especially. But the new normality, what is going to be happening after the lockdown? Are all rules going to be lifted? No. There are still going to be some rules put into place. A majority of this is going to be around facial masks. Now, at the moment, masks are still mandatory. You still have to wear a mask when you're going out into a public place and you have the chance of coming into contact with someone, or at least not going into the proximity of 1.5 meters between people. So, for example, where I am, I'm on a large resort. It's, you know, walking your dog, you're not going to meet anyone. I still take a mask with me, just in case. If I come to a situation where I'm walking down a corridor to an apartment block or something like this, and I come to meet with someone, yeah, I would put on the mask, and I'm not breaking the rules. But in phase 3 and upwards, even after the state of emergency has been lifted and the new normality begins, masks are still going to be mandatory in public areas, okay? But this is now going to be down to the regional authorities. Like I stated earlier, with the regional authorities and what they can and can't do. Well, after the lockdown has been lifted, it's going to be down to the regional authorities to decide where the masks are going to be mandatory and what is most likely going to be happening with distancing and places where you have to wear them. Now, they have stated on the royal decree, and this was put out in Tuesday for the new normality, that face masks are still to be used in closed public areas where 1.5 meter can't be maintained. So what does this mean? Well, closed public areas, this is most likely going to be all of the offices, all of the places, for example, going to, I don't know, the traffic office, going to get any public official office, then if you can't keep a distance of 1.5 meters, then yeah, you just have to wear a mask. And I think this is actually quite sensible. I know I'm going to get a lot of people who disagree with me on this, but yeah, if you've just got the safety of wearing a mask going into a public space, this also includes pharmacies, supermarkets, but this is most likely going to be down to the owners of those supermarkets whether they want to still keep these rules in place or not. But what we do know is the public enclosed spaces, yes, masks will be mandatory. And that is basically it. Wow, we've got a really, really good day today. So very quickly, before I go, I haven't been doing questions of the day for about a month now, and we used to do this at the start or the end of every single video. I used to give you guys a question of the day, and I'm going to give you one now. We've repeated this already, but I want you guys to answer me this question, okay? What are you most looking forward to in the new normality? After the 21st of June and maybe in the 1st of July when the borders are opening up and we're allowed to get out of the country and go back to the UK and visit friends and visit family and cross provinces and everything like this, what are you most looking forward to? Okay, that is your question of the day. So I want you to write your answer down below, put a comment if you want to hashtag anything or even reply to anyone that you want in this conversation as well. For example, I'm going to see my best friends, I'm going to see my granddad, things like this. Just write it down in the comments below there, okay? Now, if I haven't mentioned anything, I know a lot of people are going to be asking, what about this, what about this? If I haven't mentioned anything, well, there is no more news about it. So, for example, with cross-province borders and crossing provinces to go to other provinces, nothing has been mentioned yet. I know a lot of people are dying to know what is going to be happening when we come out of the lockdown, and are we able to go, for example, the Murcia to Alicante? Nothing has been stated yet, so I can't say anything yet because we don't know. We really, really don't know. At the moment, no, you are not allowed to cross provinces, and you're not allowed to cross borders with the provinces as well. So until we know, And the communal pools, again, we don't know anything about it. The rules are still put into place as they are at the moment, so there's no news about this already, all right? All right, guys, that is it for today. I'm thinking on Monday I'm going to do half news show and half question and answer show because we haven't done a question and answer in a while. So Monday, if you've got any questions whatsoever, please leave a comment down below or private message me on the page. I'll try and get back to you, if not myself or my dad, because he's an admin in this page as well. He needs replying to a lot of these comments as well. Thank you, Dad. And for the moment, that is it. I will see you guys on Monday at 4 p.m, just like every Monday and every Friday. Enjoy your weekends. Remember to write that comment down below what you're most looking forward to after the lockdown has been lifted. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.